Because this month was wild. So much went down, it feels like the entire gaming industry just hit overdrive. First off, we've got Sony finally looking like it's trying to get back to its roots. After years of focusing on live service trends and playing catch-up with Game Pass, they're doubling down on what made them a juggernaut. Big, cinematic, story-driven games. And the timing couldn't be better. Marvel's Wolverine is one of the biggest question marks right now. Insomniac Games has been riding high off the success of the Marvel's Spider-Man series. But Wolverine is a completely different beast. The tone is darker, the combat is expected to be brutal, and fans are itching for even the smallest update. But Insomniac is playing it close to the chest. We don't even have a release window yet, but if it's aiming for 2025, expect something big to drop soon. Meanwhile, Konami is in the middle of a comeback of its own. They're bringing back Silent Hill 2 and Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, and those remakes alone are making people cautiously optimistic. But what's more surprising is their willingness to publish something fresh, like Deliver at All Costs, a retro GTA-inspired delivery game with full destructibility and a satirical vibe. It's proof that Konami's at least trying to diversify, and the fan reception to the trailer has been surprisingly positive. Then there's Crimson Desert from Pearl Abyss. They finally confirmed a late 2025 release window, and their Black Space engine is turning heads with how ambitious it sounds. Seamless, open worlds, advanced lighting, physics-based combat, real-time weather systems. Basically, it's Pearl Abyss saying they're ready to play in the same league as the big dogs. But while the visuals are stunning, the real question is whether the gameplay can match that level of ambition. We've got Xbox dropping one of the most tone-deaf price hikes in recent memory, right as the PS5 Pro undercuts them with more power at a cheaper price. GTA 6? Yeah, you better believe it's going to cost at least $80 now, and that's probably just the starting point. Meanwhile, Helldivers 2 is quietly building one of the most dynamic live game narratives out there, with huge changes and possibly a brutal twist on the horizon. But it's not all chaos. PS Plus just dropped a killer lineup for May. Old-school racing legend Ridge Racer is making a comeback. Far Cry 4 just got patched a decade later, and somehow, the GPU market is finally calming down, kinda. And then there's Claire Obscure Expedition 33, a game made by a tiny team that just embarrassed half the AAA industry. Let's get in, get loud, and get dirty with the news. So here's a little blast from the past that no one really saw coming. Far Cry 4 just got a fresh patch, more than 10 years after it originally launched. Yup, this game first dropped way back in November 2014, hitting everything from PS3 and Xbox 360 to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And now, in 2025, it's suddenly been updated, just as it landed on Xbox Game Pass on April 30th. If you've ever wanted to ride an elephant into a base or wingsuit off a mountain at a smoother frame rate, this might be your moment. And look, Far Cry 4 had its share of bugs back in the day, sure, but it's still remembered as one of the best in the series. A huge part of that is thanks to Troy Baker's performance as Pagan Min, the stylish, psychotic dictator who totally stole the show. In fact, Polygon even ranked it as their 7th best game of 2014 and called Pagan Min one of the best villains since Joker in Arkham Asylum. That's high praise. What made it special, though, was how confidently it embraced what it was, a chaotic sandbox. You're AJ Gale, dropped into a civil war in Kyrat, and the game, basically, hands you a bag of explosives and says, go nuts. There's no bloated systems or weird half-baked mechanics, just pure open-world freedom. So if you've got Game Pass and a craving for some nostalgic mayhem, now's actually the perfect time to revisit it. The smoother performance makes it feel way more modern than it has any right to. And honestly, wingsuiting off a radio tower into an enemy outpost never really gets old. If you want to be ahead of all the gaming leaks and news, specifically PlayStation news, time for you to subscribe. And as always, a like on the video is very much appreciated.